So we had some questions come in on our website.
Our website. Our Facebook page.
We're going to answer them because
there are some questions we're not going to touch on, probably, just for the sake of our, I don't know.
Because we don't want to.
Yeah. Anyway, first question, what is our biggest influence? If it's musically, for me, I grew up on like a lot of like country music and like 80s metal, rock, classic rock stuff. So actually, country music is probably one of my biggest influences in my writing. It's probably really weird sounding, but I don't know about for you. I have an idea. Celine Dion.
Well, I mean, like we grew up with like different types of music, but I mean, like I remember one of the earliest bands that I ever like that got me into like hardcore metal is Blindside and Norma Jean. That first album that Norma Jean came out was so raw and gritty.
Yeah. How many songs are on the album?
Would you say 10?
Yeah, there's gonna be probably 10 songs on the album. The album's titled "Who Will Make War," and there'll probably be 10 on there, maybe 11 if you guys are lucky and stuff.
Depends on how many likes we get on our Facebook.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Nobody likes us.
Mm-mm. Music.
I'll take this one. We have a pretty interesting, actually, writing process. Anthony and I have been writing together for quite a while, but he has this gift to just be able to literally take any piece of equipment that he gets his hand on and make something out of it. Whether it's, metal or country or classic, whatever it is, he makes something out of it. And he comes from a much more educated musical background than I do. I come from more of a just
Barbecue.
listening to a listening standpoint and going to shows and hearing vocalists and things like that, and just screaming in the shower or whatever. And so being able to have those two aspects come together is pretty cool, because he can sit here and he'll write something on guitar and formulate this entire movement around that guitar, around a few riffs, and formulate an entire song. Then I'll come in and we'll write some lyrics together. Many times it will be stuff that we'd written on our own separately in poetry or just in notebooks, jotting things down, and we'll come together and formulate them together with an idea that we have on what we want the song to sound to be about. But mainly the instrumentation is pretty much all Anthony. I'll here and there I'll say put a pause here, put a break here, or something like that, and put my 2 cents in.
Yeah, and you'll be like, put a cha there.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he translates any kind of vision that I would have or that he would have. He has the ability to translate that to an actual reality and putting it in an actual, harmonic movement of sound. Whereas I would just be like, make it sound like this, So he can translate my barbaric ramblings into real music, and of course he's got a million ideas that I can just sit there and listen to it and go, that's awesome. Like, let's just throw some lyrics on that and it's perfect. So he writes everything: drums, guitar, bass, other guitar, everything.
What is the song "Embraces Betrayal" about? That is
butterflies.
Yeah. That's probably the one song you guys are going to hear that is lyrically different than most of our other songs, because it's a song that not a lot of Christian bands or ministry-based bands will actually write about, because it's being transparent with the fact that we're not perfect, even though we say we have faith in Christ. and this is like we're doing this as a ministry. We're doing this to spread the glory of God, but we're also wanting to be as real and as transparent and open as like possible with everybody and real about ourselves. Go ahead.
One thing that while we were writing the song that became a struggle for me was, I'm sitting here expressing is I struggle with a lot of anger, a lot of pent up anger, not necessarily hatred, but just violence and anger, just like within me. And so while we were writing the song, I remember something that Anthony had said to me as I was sitting here and just thinking, how can I go and stand in front of a crowd or stand in front of anybody or release some kind of media that is propagating hatred and anger and violence when I'm the one that needs to work on it. I'm the one that's messed up. And the things he said to me, he goes, we don't go on stage and we don't go and stand in front of people or preach because we're perfect. We preach because we have a perfect God. And that really hit me because it was like, you know what, that's true. And I don't need to hide behind any kind of veil. We don't need to hide behind any kind of veil that would lead anyone to believe that we are perfect or that we don't have these feelings of anger, But the reason that we can stand in front of anyone and say anything is because of what Christ has done in our lives and the fact that God is perfect. And we're not shying away from the fact that we're human beings. We get angry. We get really, really angry, and we do stupid things. But this is an expression of the fact that a Christian has that anger too. Just as much as a regular person who doesn't believe in God would have that anger. And we wanted everyone to be able to identify with that. And it's an expression of showing that we're all the same. We're not any better or any different. The only difference is we don't act on that anger as much as we can. We still do, a lot of times. But we try not to because we know that there's a better way. And we know that God has lined out a better way for us. But we're not going to shy away from the fact that we have some people that were in our lives that really hurt us very badly. And, the human reaction to that is to get angry. I've been hurt, so I'm going to be angry. And I'm not going to say that I didn't feel angry. I'm sure many of you in your lives have had anger towards people. And instead of hiding that anger, we wanted everyone to know you're not alone. There's many people that have anger
and
too.
I think it was not only that, but it was one night Will and I were both upset about the same thing. So we started. I started texting him lyrics to like a new song, and he texted me back lyrics, and so it almost looked like we were fighting and yelling at each other, but it was just like lyrics back and forth, and so we just compiled them together. And
my wife woke up and looked at my cell phone.
And she was like, "Why are you guys fighting?
Why are you guys fighting? These are horrible things you're saying to each other."
But I mean, it's just us being honest and real about just because we have faith in God and just because we're writing about Christ doesn't mean we're not going to be honest with the fact that we're not perfect, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So that's basically what the song's about. When will we do shows?
When we have enough likes on Facebook.
Yeah. There's another question, how many members are in the band? So I'll just answer both of those, I think. There's just two of us right now. Will and I started writing, I don't know how long ago it was, dude.
Dude, we've been floating this idea around for
our old band, the Red Letter Run, actually started having this idea in Oregon. Our last show was in Tom Fest in 2009 in Oregon, and we had this Will came up with the idea of Under the Beast as a band name, and
something that would just be heavy, something that's there's not a lot of
not the norm
of Christian hardcore or metal bands that are dark and that are extreme to the point of being real with the struggles that are inherent in a Judeo-Christian belief system. The struggles of, thinking my mother could go to hell, or my father could go to hell, or my best friend could go to hell, simply because they don't believe what I believe. And that's not something that's easy to swallow. That's not something that's, that's a fun thing to believe. But with Unto the Beast, we want to explore those avenues. We want to explore the dark recesses of the Christian psyche and the Christian philosophy. Hit on those subjects that are full of anger and full of spite, things that cause frustration, and be real about it. The fact that we are Christians, that we have Christ in our lives, doesn't mean that we're always happy. It doesn't mean that we're, good people. I mean, you're a pretty good person.
Yeah, most of the time.
I'm not, though. My shoe size.
Oh, yeah. Hector wanted to know our shoe sizes.
Hector, this is for you, man. I'm going to be expecting you to send us some shoes, though. Unless it was a joke.
Well, he said just kidding, but
oh,
I think it's kind of a serious question. You can tell a lot about a person by the size of their shoes.
You can. Absolutely.
Me, for example. Don't we wear the same size?
We have the same shoe size. I've worn your shoes many times. You didn't know about it. But
What, 9.5?
Yeah.
Is it really?
9 or 9.5.
9.
Depends on what kind of shoe it is.
That's true.
Anthony's single.
Yeah. Cheers.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.